The Iran-Iraq War was a brutal 8-year conflict that the world largely chose to ignore. Over 1 million lives lost, countless stories of suffering, and yet it faded into the shadows of history. This war was not just brutal, it was apocalyptic. In 1979, the Islamic Revolution in Iran sent shockwaves across the globe. The Shah was overthrown, and Ayatollah Khomeini rose to power, promising an Islamic government that would defy Western influence. Across the border, Saddam Hussein, Iraq's dictator, watched with fear. He saw Iran's revolution as a direct threat, a fire that could spread into Iraq. So, in September 1980, he launched a surprise invasion, believing it would be a quick and decisive victory. He was gravely mistaken. What began as a conventional war with tanks and airstrikes quickly devolved into a nightmare of trench warfare and total carnage. As the months turned into years, the conflict became a proxy war, with the West preoccupied with the Cold War, looking the other way. The US, France, and even the Soviet Union quietly supplied weapons to both sides, fueling a conflict that no one truly wanted to win, only to survive. Iran responded with everything it had, including its youth. Teenage boys, some as young as 12, were handed plastic keys, told they would unlock the gates of heaven if they died fighting. Entire waves of young volunteers were sent to clear minefields, their lives sacrificed for a cause that seemed increasingly futile. Iraq retaliated with horrific chemical weapons, unleashing mustard gas and nerve agents on entire villages. The attack on Halabja in 1987, where thousands were killed, remains one of the worst chemical attacks in modern history. The world's media barely covered the atrocities. Images of mutilated children and bombed cities were deemed too grim for the evening news. But for those living through it, there was no escape. Cities like Khorramshahr, once vibrant and modern, were reduced to wastelands. Generations grew up in bomb shelters, schools turned into morgues, and hospitals ran out of morphine. Yet, the leaders on both sides pressed on. By 1984, neither side was winning, but neither would back down. Iraq bombed Iranian oil terminals, and Iran retaliated by targeting tankers in the Persian Gulf, threatening global oil supplies. The front lines barely moved, but the death toll soared. By 1986, over 500,000 had died, and by 1988, that number would double. Finally, in July 1988, after 8 long years of devastation, Iran agreed to a UN-brokered ceasefire. Khomeini called it drinking from a poisoned chalice. Saddam declared victory, but his economy lay in ruins. No land had changed hands, no clear winner emerged, only millions of shattered lives. The war ended, but the trauma lingered. Survivors still bear the scars of chemical burns. Iran mourns its martyrs, while Iraq, weakened and in debt, would soon invade Kuwait, igniting the Gulf War and decades of instability. The Iran-Iraq War was not merely a conflict. It served as a grim warning about the consequences of pride, power, and politics overshadowing human life. And yet, today, most people can't even name it. In the deserts between Iran and Iraq, bones lie buried beneath the sand, a silent testament to the horrors of that war. The world's indifference back then echoes louder than the bombs ever did.